Welcome back to Morning in America. I got to remind you, do you guys remember us going on the road? We had a lot of fun in Dearborn, Michigan at Ford's world headquarters, Ford Motor Company. We took Morning in America on the road to showcase the all-new electric Ford F-150. And part of that coverage included Paul Gerke going inside the Ford assembly plant, speaking to the plant manager about how employees, staff, are working with robots on the assembly line. It's something that more and more companies are doing to revolutionize warehouses. The technology is new and it's advancing all the time. And joining us right now is Mark Manduca, Chief Investment Officer at GXO. He knows a thing or two about this technology. Mark, thank you for being with us. I know that a lot of people for years have been very anxious about people being replaced by automation. But this is actually what you believe an opportunity for job creation?
Massive opportunity. This isn't so much people versus robots, Adrienne. This is about people working alongside robots to create a safer, more efficient, more accurate environment. And I loved your opening segment as well in terms of what you said about supply chains. Never has the world been so fray right now in regards to the tension that we're seeing in global supply chains. So it's really driving that efficiency through the market. Robots are here to help, and they're making the environment bigger, better, stronger, but most of all, safer for our existing teammates.
Well, in what ways? Because obviously the assembly line is a crucial part of that supply chain and warehouses in general housing that chain. But how have they evolved over the years in terms of what innovations have been used to make things safer, more ergonomic, and even speed up the process, becoming more productive?
I love exactly what you said in terms of speeding up the process from an ergonomic standpoint. If you think about how this works, about 30% of our footprint has technology attached to it. If you think about our business, we're at 900 warehouses across 27 countries, operating for 1,050 global blue chip customers, including the sector that you mentioned, the auto sector as well. We really have an e-commerce skew. And if you think about our business overall, what we're trying to do here is remove menial tasks from the warehouse, reduce walking times, and make the warehouse a safer, more efficient place to operate. These are the warehouses of the future. And what they result in is that safer, more efficient, more accurate environment. It's a very, very exciting time to be GXO.
Yeah, and in GXO is one example. I know when we were at Ford, they were telling us that the robotics or the mechanics around each employee could be adjusted to the height of the worker so that they didn't strain their back. I mean, all these little details that some of us don't know anything about because we've never actually worked in a warehouse. But talk about how technological advancement sees the future. Are we expecting to see more of these robotics? Are they operated by the workers themselves, or are they independent? I think a lot of people think, is it going to be like a live robot walking around alongside a human?
We could get there. I mean, the industry right now is really just in the infancy. So although we're leading the way, we're 30% automated, as I mentioned, the reality is that if you look at the global sphere, this is a very fragmented market right now in global warehousing. And we've only got about 5% automation across the entire industry. So like I said, there's a big difference between us and what we do for companies, as you mentioned, in the auto sector. They outsource their warehouse facilities to people like us, and they expect a robotic arm, they expect automated solutions, they expect the best software, and they expect someone to be able to integrate all of that. And that really is a very difficult task. What we've done here, and I love the way you describe it, what we've done is we've gone from the warehouse of 100 years ago where people are pushing boxes around with hands, arms, and legs, and then making it very difficult for themselves. We're moving the warehouse into the future whereby everything is synced in a matter of seconds. This is really about creating efficiency in the warehouse, and we're leading that way.
And hopefully people will live a lot longer, because I think about those who worked in the warehouses of old and how much their bodies were broken down by the work. And it's so stressful physically for human labor. But Mark, really quickly, we're out of time. How soon do we think that this is going to become very commonplace, not just in your part of the world, but all around the world?
If you look at the tech rollout in most other sectors that we've seen to this degree, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to an era where the industry is 50 to 70% automated. And like I said, we're at the foothills of the Himalayas. This is only 5% automated so far. So lots and lots of growth for our industry ahead, and lots of automation, as you say, Adrienne, for the industry. Very
Mark,
exciting times.
It is very exciting, and also comforting to know that people will still be a part of the process and not replaced.
Very much so.
Yes. Mark Manduca from GXO, thank you so much for your expertise. We appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to click on the red subscribe button below so you can get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.